ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
In the dorsal root ganglion, whatever the fiber which is present, this is the sensory fiber. From the ventral root ganglion, whatever the fiber which is extends, that is said to be as the motor fiber. This is the motor fiber. These two fibers together and form the spinal nerve. This is said to be as the spinal nerve. This is said to be as the spinal nerve. Means in the case of the spinal nerve, sensory fiber is extends from dorsal root ganglion. Motor fiber extends into the spinal nerve from the ventral root ganglion. In that way, each and every spinal nerve must be formed by both sensory as well as the motor fiber, so that only they are with the mixed nature. After immediate formation of this spinal nerve, this spinal nerve gets divided into three branches. This spinal nerve gets divided into three branches. This is the rama dorsalis. This is the R dorsal branch. This is the rama ventralis. This is the ventral branch. This is the rama communicans. Rama communicans, that is the middle branch. After immediate formation of this spinal nerve, it is gets divided into three branches. This is the rama dorsalis, rama dorsalis, rama ventralis, rama communicans. Then how this kind of the spinal nerves exit? How that kind of the spinal nerves exit? From the spinal cord means through a specialized openings, that is said to be as the intervertebral foramina. Definitely between the two successive vertebrae, whatever the space which is present, that is said to be as the intervertebral disc. Just assume this is the one vertebrae, this is the one vertebrae. Between these two, whatever the space is present, that is said to be as the intervertebral disc. In intervertebral disc, whatever the opening which is present, this opening is said to be as the intervertebral foramina. Definitely this opening is said to be as the intervertebral foramina. Through that kind of the intervertebral foramina, this spinal nerve is exit. Definitely spinal nerves exit all, comes out from the spinal cord through a specialized opening. That kind of the openings are said to be as the intervertebral foramina. Again, this spinal nerves principally categorized into 5 classes depending upon their site of origin. If they are arises from the spinal cord of neck region, they are the cervical spinal nerves. If they are arises from the spinal cord of the thoracic region, they are said to be as the thoracic spinal nerves. If they are arises from the lumbar region of the spinal cord, then they are said to be as the lumbar spinal nerves. If they are arises from the sacral region of the spinal cord, they are said to be as the sacral spinal nerves. If they are arises from the caudal region of the spinal cord, then they are said to be as the caudal spinal nerve. So in that way, depending upon their origin mode, this spinal nerves are principally categorized into 5 classes. One is the cervical spinal nerves. They are 8 pairs, means from the neck region. Spinal cord which is present in the neck region, from that kind of the spinal cord, 8 pairs of the spinal nerves are gets arises. They are said to be as the cervical spinal nerves. Second one is the thoracic. Spinal nerves, means from the thoracic region of the spinal cord, about 12 pairs of spinal nerves are gets arises. They are 12 pairs. Again from the lumbar region, of the spinal cord, nerves which are arises, they are the lumbar spinal nerves. They are 5 pairs. From the sacral region of spinal cord, again 5 pairs of the sacral spinal nerves are gets arises. They are also 5 pairs. Again from the tail, region of spinal cord, only one pair of the spinal nerve is arises. They are the caudal spinal nerves. They are the 1 pair. Totally they are 31 pairs. 8 plus 12, 20, 25, 30, 31. So totally 31 pairs of the spinal nerves are present in our body. They principally categorized into 5 classes depending upon their site of origin from the spinal cord. One is the cervical spinal nerves, they are 8 pairs. Second, thoracic spinal nerves, they are 12 pairs. Third, lumbar spinal nerves, they are 5 pairs. Fourth, sacral spinal nerves, they are 5 pairs. Fifth one is the caudal spinal nerve, they are 1 pair. So then what is the general formula of spinal nerves of human? What is the general formula? General formula of spinal nerves of human. General formula of the spinal nerves of human, that is the C8 plus T12 plus L5 plus S5 plus C01. Definitely cervical spinal nerves are 8 pairs, thoracic spinal nerves are 12 pairs, lumbar spinal nerves are 5 pairs, sacral spinal nerves are 5 pairs, caudal spinal nerves are 1 pair. Totally they are 31 pairs. This 31 pairs of the spinal nerves together constitute or form various plexus, various complexes. What are the plexus which are formed due to the union of this 31 pairs of the spinal nerves? Plexus formation. Definitely various kind of the spinal nerves together constitute various complexes, that is said to be as the plexus. Then what are the plexus means? Just assume this is the spinal cord, this is the spinal cord, This is nothing but spinal cord here. In the spinal cord, this is the C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7, C8. Means these are the cervical spinal nerves. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth cervical spinal nerves. Of that, from the first cervical, second cervical, third cervical, fourth cervical spinal nerves, branches which may be arises from the first, second, third, fourth cervical spinal nerves, branches which may be arises, they together and constitute cervical plexus. That is said to be as the cervical plexus. From the first, second, third, fourth cervical spinal nerves, branches are arises, they finally united one with another and form the cervical plexus. Similarly, from the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth cervical spinal nerves and from the first thoracic spinal nerve, branches are arises and finally form the thoracic plexus. This is said to be as the thoracic plexus. This is the thoracic plexus. Definitely, or this is nothing but branchial plexus. This is the branchial plexus. So definitely, fibers which may be arises from the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth cervical spinal nerves and from the first thoracic spinal nerve, branches which may be arises, they may be united and form the plexus that is said to be as the branchial plexus. So definitely from the T2 to T12, from the T2 to T12, this spinal nerves may not be gets involved in the formation of the plexus. Definitely they may not involve in plexus formation, no plexus formation. From second thoracic spinal nerve onwards to the last thoracic spinal nerve, branches may not be gets arises, branches may not be gets united and they may not be gets involved in the formation of the plexus. Branches are arises, but they may not be united one with another to form the plexus. From the second thoracic spinal nerve onwards to the 12th thoracic spinal nerve, this branches may not be gets united to gets to form the plexus. No plexus formation. Again, this is the L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. Lumbar spinal nerves. From the L1, one branch is arises. From L2, from L3, from L4, branches are arises and finally unite and form a plexus that is said to be as the lumbar plexus. This is said to be as the lumbar plexus. From the first, second, third, fourth lumbar spinal nerves, branches which may be arises, they may be united and form the lumbar plexus. Again, same from the fourth lumbar spinal nerve, fifth lumbar spinal nerve, first sacral, second sacral, third sacral spinal nerves, branches which may be arises, they united and form the another plexus that is the sacral plexus. This is said to be as the sacral plexus. means what is the spinal nerve which is involved in the both formation of the lumbar plexus and sacral plexus means fourth lumbar spinal nerve. Fourth lumbar spinal nerve gets involved in the both formation of the lumbar plexus as well as sacral plexus. Definitely one fiber from the fourth lumbar is involved in the formation of the lumbar plexus. At the same time, another fiber from the fourth lumbar spinal nerve is also involved in the formation of the sacral plexus. Again, S4, S5, fourth sacral spinal nerve, fifth sacral spinal nerve, and from the caudal spinal nerves also. Branches are arises and finally form the caudal plexus and form the caudal plexus. In that way, various spinal nerves are gets aggregated to gets form the various plexus. First cervical plexus, second branchial plexus, third lumbar plexus, fourth sacral plexus, fifth caudal plexus. How the cervical plexus is formed means first, second, third, fourth cervical spinal nerves branches are united and form the cervical plexus. Branchial plexus is formed due to the fibers from fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth cervical spinal nerve and from the first thoracic spinal nerve branches are united and form the branchial plexus. From the second to 12th thoracic spinal nerves, branches which may be arises may not be gets united and form the plexus. No plexus formation is taking place between the second to 12th thoracic spinal nerve. Again, fibers from first, second, third, fourth lumbar spinal nerves are united and form the lumbar plexus. Again, from the fourth lumbar spinal nerve, another branch is also arises. That branches gets involved in the formation of the sacral plexus also. Fourth, fifth lumbar spinal nerves branches, first, second, third sacral spinal nerve branches are united and form the sacral plexus. And fiber from the fourth, fifth sacral spinal nerve and caudal spinal nerve are united and form the caudal plexus. This is nothing but plexus formation and spinal nerves. Here very important in the EAMCET examination point of view, this syllabus is not there in the NEET examination, in NCERT it is not there. In NCERT, cranial nerves, spinal nerves are not there. This is for EAMCET only. Definitely in the EAMCET examination point of view, very important is what is the spinal nerve which may be involved in the both formation of the lumbar plexus and sacral plexus means fourth lumbar spinal nerve involved in the formation of the both lumbar plexus and sacral plexus. This is the spinal nerves. Next one is the definitely peripheral nervous system functionally divides into two branches, PNS, peripheral nervous system, functionally divides into two divisions or two branches. One is the somatic nervous system. One is said to be as the somatic nervous system. This is said to be as the SNS, that is the somatic nervous system. Second one is said to be as the autonomic nervous system. This is said to be as the ANS. Definitely functionally, peripheral nervous system is principally categorized into two subdivisions or division. One is said to be as the somatic nervous system, second one is said to be as the autonomic nervous system. Then what is the somatic nervous system means? whatever the nervous system which control voluntary functions of the body, that nervous system is said to be as the somatic nervous system. Again, in the somatic nervous system, definitely two types of the nerves are present. Two types of the nerves are present. One is the sensory neurons. Two types of the neurons are present in the somatic nervous system. One is said to be as the sensory neuron, second one is said to be as the motor neurons. Motor neuron, this sensory neurons always receive the sensory information from the receptors which are consciously perceived. Definitely sensory neurons always receive sensory information from the receptor which are consciously perceived sensations. What is the meaning of the consciously perceived? The sensations which are with the conscious of the person, sensations which are with the willing of the person, that sensation is said to be as the consciously perceived sensation. For example, hearing. Definitely hearing is the consciously perceived sensation, because if the person wants to listen, then he can listen, otherwise he stop the listening. That is with the willing of the person. That is said to be as the consciously perceived sensation. Similarly, vision means that is the sight. If the person wants to view the object, then only he may be do that, otherwise he may be stop that kind of the seeing or the vision. So in that way, hearing, again reading. If the person wants to read, then he can read, otherwise he may be stopped. Like that way, definitely person can receive this information which is with the conscious of the person, then that kind of the sensation is said to be as the consciously perceived sensation. Sensory neurons of somatic nervous system, sensory neurons of somatic nervous system always receive the sensory information from the receptor which is with the consciously perceived, which is with the conscious of the person. For example, hearing of the sound and vision or viewing and reading, these are under the conscious of the person. If such informations are received, then it is said to be as the consciously perceived sensations. Means sensory neurons of the somatic nervous system always receive sensory information from the receptor which are with the consciously perceived, which are with the conscious of the person. Then motor neuron which is present in the somatic nervous system, this motor neuron, just assume this is the motor neuron, this is the motor neuron. In the case of the motor neuron, this is the cyton, this is the axon. This is the cyton, this is the axon. Definitely single motor neuron is extended from central nervous system to skeletal muscle. This is the skeletal muscle. This is the skeletal muscle. Definitely single motor neuron is extends from the central nervous system to motor organs such as the skeletal muscle. Means what I am saying here, that in the somatic nervous system, single motor neuron is extends from the brain or spinal cord up to the skeletal muscle to cause the excitation to regulate the voluntary movement of the skeletal muscle. If from the central nervous system, that is the CNS, to skeletal muscle, single motor neuron is extended, then this motor neuron pathway is said to be as the single motor neuron pathway. This is said to be as the single motor neuron pathway. Along the entire length between the central nervous system to the skeletal muscle, wherever that may be present, that may be present in the leg muscle, that may be present in the hand, definitely up to skeletal muscle from the brain, single motor neuron is extended. That single motor neuron always carries motor information to the skeletal muscle to regulate the voluntary movement. Voluntary movement means with the willing of the person, if the skeletal muscle is in working, with the willing of the person, with the conscious of the person, if the skeletal muscle is in working, then we can say that is the voluntary movement. Definitely this motor neuron always regulate voluntary movement. Voluntary movement of skeletal muscle. Single motor neuron is extends from the central nervous system to the skeletal muscle. For example, to the leg muscle, from the brain to the leg muscle, single motor neuron is extends. From the brain to the hand also, single motor neuron is extends, that is able to conduct the motor information to the skeletal muscle to regulate the voluntary movement in the case of the skeletal muscle. Definitely this motor neuron of somatic nervous system always causes excitation in skeletal muscle. Always this motor neurons causes the excitation in the skeletal muscle to get to contract, to get to work in an activated way under the control of the human. In that way, single motor neuron which is present, that single motor neuron always regulate the voluntary movement of the skeletal muscle. This single motor neuron always causes the excitation in the skeletal muscle. Again, this axon is must be with the myelinated sheath. This axon must be with the myelin sheath. Definitely single motor neuron which is present, this single motor neuron axon is with the myelin sheath. That is with the myelin sheath. So that only this axon is said to be as the myelinated axon. This is said to be as the myelinated axon. This is the somatic nervous system. Second one is said to be as the autonomic nervous system. Second part is said to be as the autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system is not with willing of the person. Autonomic nervous system is not with the willing of the person. It may not be works with willing of the person. It is purely involuntary. It mostly regulate involuntary functions of body. Definitely autonomic nervous system always regulate the functions which are not with the conscious of the person. The functions which are not conscious of a person, that kind of the functions are said to be as the involuntary function. That involuntary functions are principally regulated by the autonomic nervous system. Definitely this autonomic nervous system, though it is believed as independent system, though earlier it is believed as it is the independent, it is the autonomous system, but by the recent researches we can say this autonomic nervous system functioning is also under the control of hypothalamus. Definitely hypothalamus regulate the autonomic nervous system functioning. Though it is said to be as it is the independent system, though it is said to be as it can be able to regulate involuntary body functions independently, but finally we can say this autonomic nervous system is also under the control of the hypothalamus. Again, definitely in the case of the autonomic nervous system also, two types of the neurons are present. In the case of the autonomic nervous system also, two types of the neurons are present. One is said to be as the sensory neuron, second one is said to be as the motor neuron. In the case of the autonomic nervous system also, two types of the neurons are present. One is the sensory neuron, second one is said to be as the motor neuron. Like that of the somatic nervous system, in the autonomic nervous system also, two types of the neurons are present. One is said to be as the sensory neuron, second one is said to be as the motor neuron. This sensory neuron of autonomic nervous system always receive sensory information from enteroreceptors or chemoreceptors. What are the enteroreceptor? Receptors which may be located in visceral organs, receptors which may be present inside of the body of person. They are said to be as the enteroreceptors or the chemoreceptor. Whatever the sensory information which is collected from this enteroreceptors or the chemoreceptors by sensory neurons, they are not under the conscious of the person. Definitely these sensory neurons always receive sensory information from the enteroreceptors or chemoreceptors. That kind of the sensory information is not consciously perceived. That kind of the sensory information is not consciously perceived means that is not under the conscious of the person. Definitely enteroreceptors means receptors which are present in the visceral organ is said to be as the enteroreceptor or chemoreceptor. This sensory neurons always receives sensory information which is not consciously perceived. Definitely sensory information which is collected by the sensory neurons of autonomic nervous system is not under the conscious of the person, is not with willing of the person. So that only that is said to be as the sensory information which is not consciously perceived. Definitely sensory neurons of autonomic nervous system receives the sensory information from receptors which are present inside of the visceral organ. That sensory information is not with the conscious of the person. That is the not consciously perceived sensation, not consciously perceived sensory information. Next, motor neurons which are present. Definitely two motor neurons are present in the motor neuron pathway. In motor neuron pathway of autonomic nervous system, two motor neurons are gets involved. One is this is the motor neuron which arises from CNS. This is the motor neuron which arises from the CNS. This motor neuron immediately terminated inside of autonomic autonomic ganglion. Autonomic ganglion means in the case of the autonomic nervous system, single motor neuron is not extended up to the muscle, up to the gland. Definitely two motor neurons are gets involved in motor neuron pathway of autonomic nervous system. This is the one motor neuron which is arises from the CNS, which is present in front of autonomic ganglion. In front of autonomic ganglion, so that only this is said to be as the free ganglionic motor neuron. Definitely this is said to be as the free ganglionic motor neuron. Again, this motor neuron, if it is present in front of the autonomic ganglion, which is arises from the central nervous system, that motor neuron is said to be as the free ganglionic neuron. Again, from the autonomic ganglion, another neuron which is arises, that neuron is said to be as the postganglionic neuron, because this neuron is present behind the autonomic ganglion. If the neuron is present behind the autonomic ganglion, then that is said to be as the postganglionic neuron. This postganglionic neuron terminated in smooth muscle or in cardiac muscle. This is said to be as the cardiac muscle, smooth muscle, again glands. Definitely cardiac muscles may not be works with our conscious, smooth muscles may not be works with our conscious, glands may not be works with our conscious. So that only postganglionic neuron which is arises from the autonomic ganglion, this postganglionic neuron always terminated near the cardiac muscle, near the smooth muscle, near the glands. By that way, it regulate involuntary functions or the non-conscious functions. Definitely whatever the motor information which is conducted to the cardiac muscle, smooth muscle, glands, through this postganglionic neuron, by that way they may be works independently, they may be works with our conscious of the person. That kind of the functioning is said to be as the involuntary function. Means in the motor neuron pathway of autonomic nervous system, two neurons are gets involved, two motor neurons are gets involved. One is the free ganglionic neuron which is present before or in front of autonomic ganglion. Second one is the postganglionic neuron which is present behind the autonomic ganglion. In that way, two motor neurons are involved in motor neuron pathway of autonomic nervous system. In the free ganglionic neuron, myelin sheath is present. In free ganglionic neuron, myelin sheath is present, but in the postganglionic neuron, myelin sheath is not present.